Hello, Charlie Peronto. Welcome to Wittenberg Radio from Isolation.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a delight to be here virtually with you, Chloe.
Yeah. So, just in complete honesty, I have COVID.
Yes, you do.
Woohoo!
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for
You're
being honest.
welcome. You're
Yeah.
welcome. And I'm currently day 4 of isolation, and I got the lovely phone call that I tested positive from this guy right here, Charlie.
Yes.
So Charlie, you're the lucky guy whose job it is to call all the positive cases. Is that right?
This is correct. Any student who would test positive at our screening site, I follow up with them for a phone call to make sure they're getting the right information and to be there to help them with whatever they need for their isolation. So you've already said it, but yes, I gave you a phone call that you tested positive, and glad to hear you're doing better though, and you're
Yeah,
on your
yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. Feeling much better. Really nice to get like a physical, like an actual phone call to hear someone's voice rather than just an email or a form. Like
Oh yes,
having
we
you
wanted.
explain the protocols was just super helpful.
Oh yeah, so I wanted to make sure, not just with you, but with anyone who gets it, that there's somebody there that they can talk to. They can make sure they have all the things they need for isolation. They know what's going on, and it can be a bit of shocking, disappointing news for many people. So I want to make sure there's a friendly voice on the other side of the line.
Yeah, for sure. And
Mhm.
for me, since I live here in KFA, I'm still on campus, but I'm in a basically self-sufficient apartment, and I'm lucky to have people who live in the city here who are able to bring me groceries, all that jazz.
Mhm.
Um, so in the case that someone in dorm gets a lovely phone call from you,
Yep.
what goes on then?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if someone in our dorm program in one of our dorm rooms tests positive, we move them into an isolation room. So we have designated spots here on campus for people who do test positive, so they can be able to isolate safely for the time they need to. And then our cafeteria delivers them food every single day. I know,
It's like
Mackenzie.
DoorDash.
It kind of like DoorDash, but and I think sometimes they even have different selections of things they want. Mackenzie and Louise work really hard to make it as enjoyable of an experience as kind of isolation can be.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Mhm.
Mackenzie has also been super involved. Like she's been messaging me, checking in on me. Like I'm in isolation, but I feel like I've gotten more text than communication from people than usual, which has been really nice, really comforting.
That's so great to hear. I'm glad you're still feeling connected and finding ways, and that we're finding ways still to communicate and check in with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Something else when you phoned me, it wasn't
Mhm.
just, hey, you have a positive case. You're gonna isolate for 5 days. After that, 24 hours, symptom free. You know that stuff that we all know. But you also
Mhm.
were really stressing that I don't feel guilty. I don't feel bad. Why do you think that's important to tell students?
Yeah, no, that's one of the things that I think is really important, and we think is important here is because when you test positive for COVID, or you're feeling sick and you get that news, sometimes we have the response that we're just going to turn inwards. We're going to start to feel guilty. We're going to start to feel embarrassment about this. And some of this is because of the rhetoric that we've used over the past few years. We've been really kind of action oriented, that do these certain things. And that isn't always the case. There's no perfect system. And so when it does happen, people can start to feel really ashamed or embarrassed about it. And then they start to really like turn inwards, and they don't allow themselves to then maybe be honest with the people they should be honest with.
Mm,
So I've been talking to people for the past several months
yeah.
who've tested positive, and yeah, the shame and embarrassments that some of them feel makes it really hard for them to be able to reach out to other people, even people they've been close contacts with, and that kind of shame and embarrassment. We want to help people, or move through that,
Mhm.
so that they're able to still build genuine community with their friends, with their family members, those people are in contact with. Because yeah, there isn't a perfect system, and it some people will, we want them to not just spend their time questioning, did I do something wrong,
Right. Yeah.
right? And not being like, oh, was I wearing the wrong mask, or I took it off for 1 second to blow my nose, or in the bathroom or something. We don't want them to like, that's not the most helpful thing. The most helpful thing is telling the people around you, hey, I tested really positive. And that can be really hard to
Yeah.
do, because it's hard, because sometimes there's shame with it. So we
Mhm.
really want to have the message that, like, hey, don't have shame and embarrassment go along with this. Still follow the safety protocols we have in place. Those are really helpful, but don't let shame or embarrassment, because this has happened, um, stop you from reaching out to the people around you, or make you feel so deeply ashamed that you kind of beat yourself up about it,
Yeah.
because there is a positive path.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
I had to tell my entire team, my entire volleyball team, that I tested positive. And
Mhm.
initially I was like, this isn't going to be fun, but like the support I got from them, like I was not guilted, I was not shamed. Everybody was super supportive. Like I literally just got a delivery of cookies from
That's so wonderful.
one of my assistant coaches. So
Yeah.
do tell the people that you were in close contact with that you got COVID, not only for their safety, but also because you might get free cookies.
That's wonderful. Well, and Chloe, you bring up a really good point, that if we just turn inwards and don't share with people around us, even if they weren't a close contact with us, it kind of cuts us off from those relationships. And the people
Mhm.
people want to support us. Genuinely, people want to help us in our time of need. And so
Yeah.
letting people know gives them the opportunity to let us feel the connection we have from people around us.
Yeah, definitely. Like I've
Mhm.
been receiving daily texts and check-ins and all sorts of things from so many of my teammates, and that's been
Mhm.
really cool. It's been really helpful. It's made me feel like I'm connected to the team. I am very excited to watch. We have a game on Saturday in
Mhm.
Brandon that I will not be attending. But also another great part about being on a team is that I'm part of a team and that
Yeah,
there's a great crew of girls who are going to go and play and I can cheer them on from a distance.
that's
Um,
wonderful.
so yeah, I still feel entirely part of that team, which is really, really cool and would not happen unless I said, hey, this is what's going on in my life right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, other than receiving cookies and texting my teammates, I've been watching a lot of movies.
fantastic. You have the time for it now,
I
right?
got the time for it. I'm also doing schoolwork, but I'm watching some movies too.
Okay, so what have you
Um,
been watching?
I have three movies to discuss with you. Now, last time we talked to Charlie on Windberg, I think it was TV, radio TV. I'm not sure what
Something,
it was.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Last time we talked to you, you said, anytime you want to talk about movies, bring me on. And I was like, let's talk about
I'm
movies. I've
I'm
been
here
watching
for it.
movies. Okay.
Mhm.
So again, I told some of my close friends that don't live in Winnipeg, I got COVID. One of them was like, hey, you want my Disney Plus password? I
Oh,
said, yes, yes, I do.
friends in high places,
I
Chloe.
know, I know.
Mhm.
I only have Netflix, so,
Go, go into the
but
Disney canon.
yeah. So I went on Disney Plus and I watched three movies so far.
Mhm.
And my reason for choosing them was the movies that I would scroll past and I would say, how have I never seen this before?
Yeah.
And I would watch them. So, really weird combination of three. I watched Atlantis, The Lost Empire,
Yes.
10 Things I Hate About You,
Oh, fantastic.
and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Okay. That is a quite, diverse offering of movies.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Mhm.
so first, Atlantis. Have you seen it?
I have. This is the Michael J. Fox
Yes.
voiced animated film. It was one of the right at the end of the Disney Renaissance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I took a few notes so that we could discuss. Um,
fantastic.
so I was a little sleepy during this
Uh huh.
watch. I will
Okay.
admit.
Hmm.
I'm not entirely sure how they got to Atlantis. I think I maybe fell asleep during that part. It took a long time.
The movie has it's been quite a few years since I've seen it, but I do remember it has quite a lot of setup before the kind of adventure comes in when they get
Yes,
to Atlantis and
yes.
they meet the inhabitants.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I love the style of animation though. Like I could watch that all day.
Yeah.
Like the art,
Hmm.
the colors, mwah, it's beautiful,
Hmm.
beautiful.
It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah. Um, some like maybe some colonial white saviory vibes, but
Yeah. Hmm.
that it
Yeah.
happens. It was a while ago, but overall I enjoyed it. I feel like the main character Milo, for a cartoon character, pretty good looking.
Yeah, those round glasses that he have is pretty cute, and
Pretty cute.
it's nice to have that kind of not super macho guy
Yes.
be one of your heroes. He's an
Mhm.
intellectual, right?
Yeah.
Like it's nice to have a little bit of a different main character. But
Mhm.
I don't remember the plot exactly, but I would not be surprised if there were some things we would think differently about maybe than we would have when we seen it as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
So,
overall, I had a free evening. It was
mhm.
a good choice.
So
It was a good
do you recommend it to the listeners? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Where would you place it in the Disney kind of canon? Or is it in your top
God.
50%, bottom 50%? Where would you put it in your Disney ranking?
I
Well,
think
first let's start here. What's number one? What is your favorite
oh
Disney
my
movie?
goodness.
And let's not think of Disney movies including Star Wars and Marvel, kind of like
Okay.
classic
Right.
Disney movies.
Mm. Are we going like Disney Pixar as well?
Sure, you can include Pixar there.
Okay. I'm a big fan of like their newer like Inside Out and like Up.
Sure.
Like I really
Hmm.
I really like the storylines there.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
go a little bit deeper. I think they're really
Hmm.
interesting. So like those are just some of my favorites.
Okay.
But
So you're more of a Pixar person, not the kind of traditional Disney animation,
I
Beauty and the
think
Beast,
so.
Little Mermaid.
But for the animation specifically, like
Yeah.
it pops it up there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not sure where it sits, but you know what? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Okay. All
Um,
right. Well, maybe next time you bring it on, we can give the definitive Disney ranking
right.
from Chloe
After
and
I watched
Daniel.
the entirety of Disney Plus.
Well, it's almost the weekend. You got a few days of isolation left. Maybe you'll just hit some of the
I
highlights.
know. I could
Mhm.
get through it. Next up, 10 things I hate about you.
Fantastic.
How do you feel about
Classic.
you? So you like it?
Oh, well, 10 Things I Hate About You. This came out when I was like peak going to the movies with like friends.
Nice.
I think I may have even gone on a date on it. I can't really remember exactly, but like this was like formative for me. That Heath
Mm.
Ledger hair in there,
Oh,
Julia Stiles. Oh, fantastic. I mean, the
yeah,
cast is just absolutely stacked.
so fun.
And it was probably one of the first times that someone snuck Shakespeare into my life and I didn't know about it. Because when I saw it, I had no idea this was Taming of the Shrew. I had no
Mhm.
idea the first time I went to it. It was just a bunch of young cuties that was
Yeah.
very
See,
important,
I didn't even
very
realize
important
that.
to
Like
me.
they talk about Shakespeare in it just within the class that they're in, but I didn't realize it was like
Oh yeah, it's an
a
actual an
recreation.
adaptation, right? Uh-huh. So yes, this was a very important movie to me. I think it was the first time I also saw Joseph Gordon-Levitt
Right.
as a young
Oh, he's
actor
so
because
little in it.
he's so little, he's so
So
cute.
cute.
Yes, this was a very important movie. How did you find it?
I really liked it. I was more awake for this one. Um, the fashion is iconic. One of my
Yeah.
favorite things when watching 90s movies is looking at the outfits.
Mhm.
And you know what? I think we're in like a 90s fashion renaissance again. Like I'm seeing a lot of styles that are walking the halls of CMU right now. So
Oh yes, this what I wore in elementary school is now popular for university students. So
fun.
it's very exciting.
Did you keep any of that wardrobe so you can like
Yeah,
wear it now and fit in?
I kept maybe a little bit of the mullet. That could come back. We'll see a little bit,
I haven't had a haircut
but
in a while. I'm getting there.
yeah, it's very fashionable these days. I don't think I'd fit in any of those outfits, but I could check next time I'm at home and see what's there.
All right.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, okay. Heath Ledger, his character, oh, beautiful.
Oh, that long
Visually,
curly hair.
oh,
Oh,
huge crush immediately.
oh yeah.
So lovely.
So
Which
was where what was your introduction to Heath Ledger? Like where were you like first introduced? Was it The Dark Knight? Was that your first one? Was
no.
it earlier than that? Was it a Knight's Tale? I feel like that might be
Yeah,
middle
I
school,
believe it was A
maybe
Knight's
high
Tale.
school. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I believe it was A Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
I think I just watched it with my friends. I don't even think it was a high school thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but like this character of his, beautiful.
Oh yes.
So
Mhm.
lovely, which made me wonder why he was like so excluded and like angry about the world when you realize that all the rumors about him like aren't true. He's just a
Mhm.
good guy. And then he's
There
like
was the
stabbing frogs, and I'm like, why are you stabbing the frog? You got nothing to stab about.
The putting out the perception of the tough guy, is
Yes,
very important at that time.
I guess,
You
I
know,
guess. But
the
then
kind of
suddenly,
cool bad boy.
and then he falls in love and he starts singing in front of the entire school. Epic scene.
Oh, it's just one of the, he's coming down the bleachers
Yeah.
there. This was a formative moment for young men like myself who thought grand, dramatic, romantic gestures were the only way to proclaim your affection for someone. I have no confessions to make, but I will
Oh.
not. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed enough of my younger self say that I probably did not consider
Mm.
professing my feelings in one of these ways when I was a younger person. I never actually did it in any meaningful way, but this, imprinted on a young Charlie that grand romantic gestures,
Yeah. Yeah. Your
very
crush will
important.
notice you if you run from security for them,
Well,
like
and if you look like Heath Ledger, they will notice you.
that'll do it.
That's got to do it.
That'll do it. Okay.
Mhm.
So two negatives, I would say.
Okay.
And they're
Yep.
not strong. They're not like strong enough to make me dislike the movie. Really like the movie.
Mhm.
I think the dad is the true enemy of the entire story.
Okay.
He's so worried about his daughters getting pregnant.
Hmm.
And also he's a doctor who delivers babies. Like you think that like he's in a world where he would be like, this is what contraception is. This is like, you know what? You think he would have some more open conversations just instead of like, you can't date. Like not,
Yeah.
I don't think he's a very good parental figure.
I'll send your. Okay. Well, that's note one. Note two to
Note
send to
two,
old.
the poem at the end,
Oh, we're gonna go do poem criticism here.
kind of,
Okay. Hey.
kind of. Okay. So the movie's called 10 Things I Hate About You,
Yeah.
which is obviously referencing the poem
Hmm.
that she says at the end. Like, I took high school English. I
Yeah.
did that.
Hmm.
I know what the high school English teachers want if you are writing a poem. They want you to jam pack it full of like metaphors and similes. They don't want you to rhyme like Dr. Seuss.
Okay.
And
Well,
I think her poem was not very good. I don't think she would have gotten a very good grade.
Mhm.
And I kind of wish that like maybe the poetry part like kind of also started in the beginning so there's a little bit more connection, not just like
Sure.
oh, here's the title of the movie at the very end, it just didn't.
Y- You know, I think that's fair. But what is poetry if not expressions of the heart?
I
And maybe she just, maybe rhyming is just her natural way. But
That's true.
we can send these notes on to Bill. We'll send them over to Bill Shakespeare. Just say like, Bill, there's some work to do, some editing from us here. I think that's fair. All right, movie three.
Movie 3, Shang-Chi. I think I'm no, haven't seen the new Black Widow. I'm caught up, other than
Okay.
Black Widow on the Marvel
Hmm.
universe. And so I'm not one for like fighting. I never thought I'd get into Marvel because I'm not a very violent person.
Okay.
Mennonites,
Yeah.
pacifists,
Yeah.
it's just in my blood.
Sure. Yeah. No. It runs
Um,
deep.
but the style of fighting, beautiful.
Hmm.
Like I really
Yes.
enjoyed the change of pace that like the mixed martial arts brought to the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable.
Okay, so this is one that I have not seen. So
Oh,
can you give
no
me the?
spoilers.
Yeah, well, give me the 1 minute uh reason I should watch this because I basically have not seen any of the Marvel movies since the what was the End Game. I basically
Okay.
haven't seen any of them. So,
Okay.
but this is one people have told me to see. So you have 1 minute. Give me the pitch why I should watch this one.
Okay. Canadian Asian representation in the Marvel
Sure.
universe. Number one, of course.
Mhm.
Simu Liu is just incredible. I know him from Kim's Convenience, and to go from that to
Yes.
Marvel,
Uh-huh.
incredible. You need
Hmm.
to watch it in just for that.
Sure.
I think they got some really good comedic relief in the
Because
movie.
Aquafina's in it, right?
Awkwafina's in it. Yeah, I laughed a
Uh-huh.
lot and I wasn't expecting to. Really enjoyable. Visually stunning.
Sure.
There's like, we're expanding like the multiverse, no, it's not even the multiverse. It's just like a little hidden world that you go to that's
Hmm.
just beautiful and very creative. And it's just, they
Okay.
just kind of let their imaginations run wild, which I loved.
Hmm.
Very like powerful family-based storyline, not too much reliance on like romantic love, but more of that like familial love, which I
Okay.
found very refreshing. So
Okay.
those would be my highlights.
Okay. That's worth it. Now, are the rings in this movie real or are they metaphorical?
They're real.
They're real. So they're a real, like, so they have rings on every finger?
No, it's like arm bands.
Oh, armbands. Okay.
And
All right.
whoever has the rings is like, you can't defeat them. They're very strong and they're also immortal.
Okay. It gives them like magic powers.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing that has compelled me to maybe see this one is Tony Leung, who I think plays the father in this.
Yes.
Because he is one of the most amazing actors in the world. Have you ever seen the movie In the Mood for Love?
No.
Okay. So
is it on Disney Plus?
It is not in Disney Plus, or he's in some other classic movies like, what is it, like Hard Boiled, Infernal Affairs. You ever seen the movie The Departed?
Oh,
with Leo and Matt Damon and Jack Nicholson.
No.
You ever seen it? Okay. Well, this movie won Martin Scorsese Best Picture.
Okay.
I think it was 2006. It was based on Infernal Affairs, which Tony Leung was in the original Hong Kong version.
So he has some acting chops. Like he is known for some big roles.
Well, he is one probably in like Asian cinema, probably the top 10 actors of all time. So
wow.
this is and In the Mood for Love is an incredible. So this is what has made me a little bit interested in watching this. But your pitch sounds pretty good. So I'll watch it and come back.
There's this little creature that kind of looks like a rabbit and it has no face and it has wings. You should watch it for that.
What's the creature's name?
Oh my gosh. Morris.
Morris? Okay, and so it's a magical creature.
Yeah.
So is this like okay, like was it a highlight like that immediately you were online like looking for Morris stuffed animals, or
yeah,
like,
I want to hug it so badly.
Yeah, like toys to put put on your shelf.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
All right. Well, you've convinced me. If a movie has, one of the greatest actors of all time and will make me want to hug something fluffy, I'm on board.
That's a Marvel movie in a nutshell.
So those are the three you've watched. Is there a fourth that you're gonna hit before you leave quarantine?
I was scrolling last night after I finished Shang-Chi, and I was like, okay, what else is making me say, how have I not seen that yet? And nothing really jumped out at me too strongly, like potentially Toy Story 4.
Oh,
I haven't seen that one yet, and that's available.
Mm-hmm.
But also they have the entirety of the Wes Anderson collection, which I've seen all of them like so many times. I have the literature. Like I'm ready to go for Wes Anderson. Oh no.
Oh, is that the Matt Stoller Zeitz book?
Oh, it's about all the movies. Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, like big fan of Wes Anderson, so I might just watch all those again.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen the French Dispatch yet?
I have.
It's pretty great.
Very fun. That's a whole other conversation.
That's a whole other podcast. Well, let me leave you with one recommendation then.
Please.
Something you might want to watch.
Please.
So you said you have Netflix. Recently added to Netflix is the movie called Set It Off. Have you ever seen Set It Off?
I have not.
Okay, so Set It Off. It's a 90s kind of action thriller heist movie. It stars Jada Pinkett Smith, Queen Latifah, Vivica A. Fox, as a bunch of women in Los Angeles who, due to their circumstances, decide they're going to start robbing banks.
Female heist movie.
Exactly.
I love a female heist movie.
There are very few of them, and this is one of the best. There's only been one as good of it as like a female-centric heist movie in the last like 20 years since this came out. Widows from a few years.
Oh, I was gonna say like the Ocean's reboot.
No. Ocean's 8 was fine. It was fine, but it should have been more about its own. Leave the other Ocean stuff alone. But I will recommend to you to watch Set It Off, directed by F. Gary Gray. Fantastic. It's on Netflix right now. Really highly recommend it.
Beautiful. And that's a recommendation for everybody watching, everybody listening.
Absolutely.
As long as you get like your readings done first, I guess.
Do your homework, talk to your friends, do all those important things. And don't get
Exactly.
embarrassed if you test positive for COVID. Make sure you talk
Exactly.
to one another. That's
Yep.
the most important thing, is don't be embarrassed, because embarrassment just means that we just turn inwards, take shame on. You don't want to do that. This is a chance to allow others to support you and deepen our friendships.
Exactly. Tell your friends, they'll help you out. Send you nice messages. And Charlie, if you do, like, for people listening, if you do test positive, you can expect a call from Charlie, like one of the nicest people and most lovely people to talk to on the phone ever. Like,
It would be my absolute pleasure to calling one, and I hope we have to call very few, if not
yes,
none,
exactly.
in the next few weeks. But be safe out there, everyone. Do your best, and if you get a phone call from me, I look forward to helping you out with whatever we can.
Perfect. Thanks for joining me, Charlie.
Thank you, Chloe. It's a delight to be here.